couple of issues. So first, Doug Benefield never punched you, ever. Correct?
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Doug Benefield never choked you, ever.
No,
He never kicked you.
no.
He never pointed a gun at you,
He waved a gun in my direction.
but it was not pointed at you, correct?
It was pointed at me while he was waving it at me.
He never came at you with a knife
No,
or a club
no,
or a baseball bat.
no.
So there are 30 years difference between you and Doug, correct?
Yes,
And you got married after 13 days.
yes,
And you spoke with him about or organized with him about starting this ballet.
yes.
Okay. And all of the money for the ballet came from him or investors, right?
My mom also funded the part of the ballet.
You didn't put anything into it. Money.
Not from my account, no.
Okay. In fact, during this time in South Carolina, you never worked, did you?
He wouldn't let me work.
Okay. When you said in the very beginning he flew you to South Carolina to visit before you were married, he paid for that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the cruise you talked about going on, he paid for that?
No,
He didn't.
he did not pay for the cruise. No.
Okay.
Yeah, he paid for my friend to go, but I had already paid for my mom and I to go. So
Okay. So he paid for your friend to go.
yes.
And he did not go with you.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
I want to ask you about the text messages that the defense talked to you about. It's going to be Defense Exhibit 3. I'm going to hand it to you. But I have the entirety of it on a spreadsheet that I'm going to put up, which is State's Exhibit 99. If we could dim the lights, please. And Judge, based on the rule of completeness, state would enter into evidence States 99.
Did you want to be heard in addition to what we said earlier?
I haven't actually seen the specific message.
Any objection to States 99? Received.
So I'm going to put this up on the board behind you, screen. We're trying to get it to come up on the screen. Okay. So I would like to orient you to what we're looking at. So on the top line, it gives whether the messages are outgoing or incoming. That would be the third, fourth column that we're looking at. And what I would like you to do is read the body of these as we go through. I'm going to expand it so you can see it. And if you could just read these for the jury.
Okay. One part is just looking at Renee.
Who is that from you or from Doug?
It's from Doug to me.
Okay. So from Doug, one part is just looking at Renee. Okay, go ahead.
I'll tell that part to start. The day I met her, I felt her before I saw her. Oh. My ex-husband lived to argue. Renee and I maybe argued 5 times in 15 years, and even then ended up laughing. Smiley face. I'm a clown at heart and love people being happy. That seems like a hard act to follow. Baby. Like always being armed. Yes, my love.
And the outgoing messages are you or Doug?
It looks like outgoing is Doug. Yeah, outgoing would be from Doug.
Judge, can we see the date for reference of the messages?
It's up on the screen.
Where?
So yes, my love, I think was the last thing you said. And then what's the next thing?
Are you doing things that are dangerous?
And you're going to have to speak up just a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Here.
Are you doing things that are dangerous? To think of all the time that you were not with me, and understanding them and how to conduct warfare in them for the kingdom.
Where was he when he was sending you these messages? While you were on the cruise?
I believe he would have been in Charleston.
Okay. He wasn't on a business trip?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Continue reading. All the other people.
All the other people. And then a rectangle. It makes me so sad. And then another rectangle. If I dwelt on it, I would go into rage to remove them from the earth.
And your response to that?
Yes, baby, I hate it. It hurts. He said I could defend myself. And you were easy prey for predators. You're sweet and want to please people, and they used that.
And you said? I'm sorry. And then he said?
I desire to exterminate them, and holding back is a challenge. They are rats that should be removed.
And you said?
Oh, baby, my love. Yes. Like that night, like last night, just the jerks arguing near you about put me in a sheer murderous mood, but I was stuck and I couldn't defend you. I said, thank you, baby, but I was okay. He said, but could have been a fight, etc. Only you being with me will over time remove images in my head. It is same, and knowing you were taken advantage of in my mind makes me explode with anger to take them out. God made you for me. And I said, yes, baby. He said to enjoy the beauty he did craft on earth. I see Renee as Eva's mom, not my wife. It is strange, but
Can we pull that back up?
he said it is strange, but there is no emotional connection. I said, well, I'm glad. I just wish I could see it that way.
And you said, I'm glad, I wish I could see it that way. Were you talking about being jealous of his relationship with Renee?
I guess you could put it that way.
Okay. You can continue to read.
I know we both have a battle to fight in our minds. He was sitting on the mantle in the background. I'm crazy, I know. But it just killed my heart. I know I see you in my mind with a bad person, with your legs spread and a shitty person choking you out. That haunts me. I love you and I never want to hurt you. I'm sorry. Rectangle. Now all I see is I said, baby, don't even think like that. He said, you haven't seen the warrior side and you never want to. I said, no one will ever touch me. I am yours. I don't. You are right. I want to see you only as my sweet and loving husband who is gentle to me and kind. He said, we went from joy and passion to now I'm in a testosterone rage inside. And who is always there and safe? That's what I said. And I said, let's not ruin the day. He said, but kill the bad people. Okay. And I said, tell me that you love me.
So this conversation was about things that you had told him that people had done to you, correct? When he's talking about, I'm imagining this, I'm imagining people choke you, he's talking about a conversation that you had had with him explaining that this had happened.
I think he was referring to on the cruise one night I was talking to him on the phone and I was sitting out in the hallway up at the top deck and I was just trying to get somewhere where it'd be quiet so I could talk to him. And it was near, there was some like a bar or something up there, I think, I'm not sure. But people were coming in and out, like maybe a restaurant. And while we were
Okay, I'm
talking,
gonna stop you
he
there.
heard,
Is the answer yes or no? Did,
She's saying,
He needs to allow her to finish her answer, Your Honor.
let me finish your answer.
he had heard a couple guys that were talking loudly and he got upset because he thought these guys were going to hurt me. And so he had talked about then that he imagined that, you know, I was out in the world without him and that people were going to take advantage of me and that he didn't know it was going to happen to me.
and he was afraid for your safety.
Yeah.
And he was saying that if anybody hurts you or he thinks about anybody hurting you, it sends him into a rage.
Yes.
And that scared you.
I'm sorry.
And that scared you.
Well, as I said earlier, at the time I kind of, you know, played it off in my head that he was just my new husband who was trying to be protective and like show that he loved me by kind of being, you know, manly.
Okay. So I want to talk about you having a baby. So Doug had a vasectomy removal in April of 2017, right?
Yes.
And you paid for that.
Part of it went on my debit card or my credit card.
And your intention was to get pregnant.
Yes, we had talked about that. Yeah.
And this was how many months after you were married?
We got married in September, so October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 7.
And was this, during this time, you said he had started criticizing you, right? About the way you looked, your clothes, the way you acted. He was, according to you, he flipped a table, tried to flip a table, threw a chair, right?
Yes.
He would scream at you.
Yes.
He would call you slut and whore,
Yes.
and you want a baby.
I mean, yeah, we were married. We wanted a family.
Okay. So the vasectomy reversal happens, and I believe you said that this baby was a surprise. Is that what you said?
Well, we weren't like planning on it right then. Yeah.
Were you having unprotected sex?
I suppose so.
Okay. So you knew that unprotected sex would result potentially in a pregnancy.
The doctor had told us that it probably wouldn't work for a while, so it wasn't something that we thought would happen that fast.
Okay. But it did.
Yes.
How quickly? When did you get pregnant?
I guess July.
And right around this time is when you say the incident happened where Doug threw a gun at a wall,
He threw it at me.
shot a gun at the ceiling. I think you made several allegations, correct?
Yeah, he admitted to it, but yes.